The tragic death of a 14-year-old hockey star from Surrey is once again turning the spotlight on internet safety. Robin Janjua took his life earlier this month. Surrey RCMP are now investigating whether the young athlete was a victim of sextortion. With more on that, we are joined by Tiana Sharifi, the founder of Sexual Exploitation Education. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me and for shedding some light on this issue.
Yeah, it really is important to talk about. And I think, typically the public has this idea that girls are primarily targeted, or victims of sextortion. But I understand that that's not necessarily the case.
Exactly. Actually, this is the one form of online sexual predation that is targeting males the most. So we actually see between 70 to 90% of sextortion cases right now are specifically to males. And that's what we really focus on in our prevention education to the students, is letting them know that typically we categorize girls as being victims of predation. But when it comes to this particular issue, it's actually the males.
And in what ways are these youngsters targeted? What are the methods that these people are using?
Yeah, so essentially these sextorters, what they're looking to do is to blackmail an individual, and most of the time this is for money. So what they're doing is what we call the bait method. You have somebody who is behind a screen posing as a young, attractive female, either through webcam or through photos on Snapchat. That is a main platform still that's being used for this. And then once they have the other individual, oftentimes a young teen boy, engaged in explicit sharing of photos and videos, they come back and they say that I've recorded this, I've screen grabbed this, and I'll share it with everybody that you know, unless you share or provide me with a certain amount of money.
And I understand it's the shame of getting into one of these situations that leads a lot of young people not to seek help and to try and manage the situation on their own. But what should young people be doing if they find themselves the victim of this type of situation?
I think the first thing, and it's very counterintuitive, is not to delete any of the content. So if there is a particular photo or video that is being extorted, making sure that you don't delete that, because we do have access to web crawlers that potentially could find if it's been shared online. The second piece is do not delete anything, keep record of everything, stop responding to the person. A lot of the times these threats are false threats. And so just keeping all the information, stop responding, and go straight to the police so that we can start an investigation into it.
What's the message that you have for parents? Because I think many of them, wouldn't even know if their kid was in this type of situation.
Yeah, and it's the same message that I tell the kids. With this particular form of predation, it's not about gender or sexuality, and I think we have to emphasize that, especially for the parents as well. We're looking at people who are online trying to extort teens for money, especially with this particular issue. And so what I really tell kids and parents as well is that when you're talking to your teens about online safety, it's not effective to discuss staying away from stranger danger or not sharing photos with somebody that you don't know, because they identify who they're talking with online as a friend or a follower. So what's more important is for them to look out for those red flags. If somebody is trying to switch you to a different platform, if somebody is, asking you any inappropriate questions or any questions about relationships, or for a photo or video of you within a 48-hour time frame, these are the red flags that they should look out for. And also for them to know that there's absolutely no shame. If they've ever been a victim, there's no shame. There is help out there, and we are there to help them. There's plenty of resources that they can go to.
Yeah, when it comes to resources, I think the hardest thing for parents might be just striking up this conversation. It might be an uncomfortable one to have. Do you have some strategies that parents can use?
Yeah, so we have a parent toolkit on our website, actually, but even more effective is that we also have a online pact for parents and teens. And so what I think is really great is if you're able to find current news events, unfortunately, there's a very heartbreaking one that recently happened, and providing that as a means to open up conversations about online safety. And then having this online pact that we have on our website, where you open up the space for conversation around what your expectations are of your teen when they're online, and vice versa, what they can expect from you in terms of, not punishing them, not shaming them if they come forward, that you are open to being curious about the platforms they use, and you're open to hearing what they're doing online without any judgment.
Of course.